My cute and lovely Virgos, this is your horoscope for November 2024. And November will welcome us with new moon in your third house. Now, third house is all about communication, ideas, signing papers, and our inner circle of people with whom we communicate daily. Now, new moon is all about new stories, new beginnings, and this new moon will be a happy one because Saturn will support that new moon, will send trine, such an amazing aspect from your seventh house, house of long-term partnerships and in business and in love. And it seems like there is an agreement to sign on your table, my dear Virgos, around this new moon, around 1st November. Whatever you're gonna start, whatever you're gonna sign, keep in mind that agreement will stay for a long time because Saturn will make sure that because Saturn is the planet of time, it's the planet of hard work, discipline, and responsibilities, and it's situated in your seventh house, and it seems like it will be related to your business partnership. And for some of you guys, it might be love partnership. You might sign some papers with your sweetheart as well, if especially if those of you who are like trying to level up your relationship, let's say, or decided to level up your relationships. And those of you who are born around end of August will be affected the most by this new moon. The third house all about siblings too, our relatives, our neighbors, our inner circle with whom we communicate on a more intimate, on a more private level and daily level. Now, this new moon might be something bringing something about your brother or sister if you have them, or any other relative. They might have some good news to share. Um, Something related that they might decide to get married, for example, as an example, or that they are dating someone, or that they are entering into a partnership with someone, and that partnership will stay for a long time. Or if you've been having, like, if they already had someone in their life, it might be that they are taking up their relationship to the next level, and you might be happy around this new moon and support their decision here. The third house is also a short trainings, like, because it's a courage house, we need courage to start something, to learn something new. It's our skills and all things that we do with hands, especially, like cooking or playing instruments. I don't know, whatever is that you wanted to learn, this new moon will set a stage for you to start learning finally. It might be a new skill, like new course, new short trainings that you will get involved, and those things that you will acquire as your new skill will stay with you forever and will benefit you, my dear Virgos. Now, third house is also house of driving and transportation. For some of you, it might be taking up driving courses, or for some of you, it might be actually finishing these driving courses and becoming driver, to drive a car. Or it might be about the purchase of a new transportation, of your new vehicle, like a car or a bicycle. It might be that you're buying a new car around this new moon, and if you do so, you will love your purchase, and it seems like you will stay with that choice for a long, long time, my dear Virgos. And that car will serve you as well for a long time. The third house is also house of short distance travels. For some of you, it might be about some travel which is like under 2-3 hours of drive. You might want to travel somewhere for some business, for example, or for love purposes, like relationship purposes. You might travel somewhere near around 1st November, my dear Virgos. Now, for the most of the month, we have a little tension there between Pluto and Mars, because Pluto and Mars will have opposition. They will oppose each other, and Pluto is a karmic planet, planet of transformation, and Mars is a planet of, it's aggressive planet a bit. It's a let's get and do it planet, and it's a planet of war. And that aspect will be exact on 3rd November. So try to avoid 3rd November. It will be Sunday, but then it means better to avoid also 4th November. Whatever important you are planning to 4th November, try to postpone it to 5th November, the best. Now, this aspect will affect us for the most in November and even a couple of days of December. but still there will be all other bunch of planets that will help us to navigate opposition of these two. Now Pluto will be in your fifth house, Mars will be in your 11th house. It seems like your wish of to be happy doesn't sort of match with the situation that is in your life right now. Fifth house is all about house of joy. It's a house of joy of life. Are you enjoying your life and your current situation? And do you love yourself? This kind of questions are, occupied in fifth house. And 11th house is the house of future. Is this picture house? These affirmation boards, or like this, I forgot, like a wishing boards. Exactly this 11th house. What we imagine as our future, what we aim as our future is exactly our 11th house. And these two are sort of not matching there. And it will be giving you quite a lot of tension, specifically 3rd November. Seems like you will have a big chance here, whole November, to try to solve this tension between what you want and what you have right now, my dear Virgos. Now, for some of you, it might be about love, actually. If you've been dating someone like not long time of period, and there might be a situation to decide the future of this relationship, whether to take it more serious or drop it all in all, like, because there might be such a situation here. Pluto is exactly in your love house, Mars is in your future house. So what you hold as a future, whether to make it as a friend, to stay as friends or acquaintances, or move backwards to that sort of friend zoning, or to take it to the next level, this relationship. Now, if that's your situation, you will have to sort it out, my dear Virgos. For some of you, it might be to decide the future of your business, especially for those of you who are business owners, my dear Virgos. If you have a business which is developing, or at whatever stage actually, which is developed, or you just opened it, you will have sort of tension there of deciding which direction to take your business. What is the future of your business? And what is your wishes? Is it aligning? Like, are they aligning together? For some of you, it might be about actually friend, because Mars is in your friendship house. Your friends might be not getting along with your sweetheart. This could be also like sort of a situation there that you will have to navigate. Or there might be, if you're doing business with your friend, then your friend might have sort of issues with your vision for the future of your like common business project, as an example, my dear Virgos. Now, as I said, all other bunch of planets will try to help to navigate it, and those planets will be Neptune, Uranus, and Mercury, your ruler, my dear Virgos. They will try to save it, and they will succeed, but you will have to do the work, my dear Virgos, still. Now, Neptune and Uranus, they all will be in a love house and also house of faith, house of faith into better future, house of faith into good, into better like life, and your mind, like broadening your mind. And it seems like you will still have a hope in your heart that all things will get better, and you're right, my dear Virgos. That's how it goes in life. After something bad, for sure comes something good, my dear Virgos. Now, 4th November, Mars moving into your 12th house. That will be one of the biggest transits of November. Mars changing signs for the next 2 months. Now Mars will start retrograding, slowing down in December. So whatever you put in your mind, try to accomplish it in November while Mars is in direct motion. On 4th November, Mars will enter your 12th house, meaning ignite your desire to travel far. If you had some such plans, then you might start planning, like booking tickets and hotels, all these things, because 12th house is all far lands. 12th house is also subconscious mind, all the things that we do in private. Mars might give you this desire to be more quiet, more private, more in solitude, more in retrospective like motion, because 12th house, all things that are done behind the doors, that are not seen by others, like alone. And Mars in 12th house might also give something related to your health, because 12th house relates to our subconscious mind, and also surgeries house. And Mars rules all things sharp. So here, take good care, because Mars in 12th house might give all sorts of accidents, especially with sharp objects like knives and scissors, all these things. Be careful here. 12th house is also a house of retreats, like religious places, going somewhere near water, near nature to rest, to get some power, let's say, some resources. And like it could be psychological therapies, like, or spiritual trip, like transformation of journey kind of house. And might be traveling to some sort of islands, like somewhere very far, or going to some rest. And Mars will actually require you to pay attention to your rest time, to how you recharge your energies, how you gather up your resources as your energy, as your food, and all these things. It will make you pay attention to your rest time, let's say, how you take care of your body. 11th of November, Venus, planet of love and beauty, moving into your love house. This is amazing one. Right on time to save this Pluto Mars also opposition, because Pluto in your 5th house, but Venus will enter your 5th house on November 11. And after November 11, you might feel much more lighter and better with your love relationships, because 5th house is all about romance, all about flirting. And Venus here might give you a few flings, let's say, because might give you this sort of a flirting mood, romantic mood. And Venus will make your romance as pinky as possible here. Now, 5th house is also children. You might spend a lot of time with your children if you have them. And if not, then daydreaming, let's say, about having kids. As an example, paying attention to your hobbies, talents, and creativity side, like especially if you're actors and singers, and if you're not, then it's just about your talents and hobbies. You might start paying attention quite a lot on that, like to give yourself a boost, like creativity boost, more of a like subconscious mind resting also, and boosting your what you love in life, love for yourself, and love for your life. Venus is right on time here to save you from Pluto too, my dear Virgos. 15th of November will be one of the biggest days, because two big things happening. Saturn, planet of work and responsibilities and discipline, moving direct in your 7th house. It was moving backwards, retrograding in your 7th house since June 29, giving you quite a lot of background thought. Since July, you might have been thinking a lot about your marriage or your long-term partner, like sweetheart if you're not married, like then your long-term relationship. It might have been giving you like background noise sort of thought, because Saturn is a heavy planet, so it's not necessarily translating into your some sort of firm like life actions or happenings in your life, but more on a mental level, more on a subconscious level, like a spiritual growth level. So in your mind, it might have been thoughts time to time popping up about your marriage situation, about your love situation, and long-term partner situation. And for some of you, it might be about your business partners too, and some sort of partnership, some sort of agreements, like headache about agreements that you've made, but making you think like time to time. While Saturn was retrograding since end of June, it was giving you this sort of like mental noise there. But when Saturn goes direct on 15th of November, meaning second half of November, you will finally make up your mind. Seems like you might finally come to terms, actually, what you think about these topics. Like for some of you, it's marriage, for some of you, business partner, or for some of you, some partnership or agreement that you sign. Or for some of you, it might be your enemies, because 7th house is also enemies house. Now, it seems like you will make up your mind after 15th of November, and you will finally know the steps to take, what sort of decisions and actions to take there. Now, 15th November will be time of full moon. Full moon is happening in your ninth house. And, ninth house is the house of travel, house of immigration. And it's all of a sudden thing happening there because it conjunct Uranus, planet of surprises and shock. Now, Uranus is, it loves to shock us, and you never know what is bringing this planet. And full moon happening exactly in tight conjunction, now meaning they're uniting their powers. And it seems like you won't expect whatever will be happening around this full moon, but remember one thing, it will be positive one, because this full moon is brilliantly, amazingly positive, because Neptune and Pluto, other karmic planets, will support them both, and full moon together with Uranus. Now, you see, whatever will be happening there, it's more of like a fated event, but surprisingly like shocking, positively shocking event will be happening. And for some of you, it might be related to travel, might be related to immigration. And it seems like it might be because of your work, because, Uranus naturally rules your work house. And this full moon might bring the news that, for example, your work is sending you to some other country or to some other station to move. And it seems like your spouse will, or long-term partner in love or in business, will be so supportive of this idea. They will be extra happy too. And it will be shocking. And it seems like you might actually immigrate somewhere, decide to immigrate by this full moon, or start this process, and move somewhere. For example, for some of you, it might be as simple as travel because of health situation, for example, or the same because of work situation. For some of you, ninth house is all about education. Now, if you might finish around this full moon your graduate program. You might acquire some sort of degree here, or you might, finish your courses also here for your work. If your work sent you before to some courses, you might again like accomplish and finish them, and it might be about education here. For some of you, it might be about publishing a book or an article, especially if you're a researcher. Then this one will be surprising news. This publishing house might finally publish your work, let's say, or editor, let's say, might finish editing your work, and it will be a big and positive surprise, my dear Virgos, for you if something was stuck there. Now, ninth house is also about legal affairs, some sort of legal cases. And if you're involved in one, then this full moon has the power to bring all of a sudden conclusion, which will be the happy one, which will be positive one, and you will be pleased by this full moon's news, my dear Virgos. And this full moon will affect the most who are born around 15th of September, plus or minus 5 days. Now, 19th of November, there is an event happening, which is an event of our century, not even this month, Pluto is moving into your sixth house. This is the hugest transit in astrology because Pluto, for the last 15 to 16 years, was occupying your fifth house, giving you a lot of transformation on, a life journey, how to enjoy life and love yourself. And around topics of kids and children and business, all these things were, under transformation. But now Pluto will move into your sixth house on 19th of November and will never go back into your fifth house in our lifetime. That's how Pluto moves slow. Now, Pluto will occupy your sixth house for the next 20 years, giving you all sorts of transformation in your, around your health, around your well-being, and around your work situation also. Now, Pluto in the sixth house might give you influential work position. For example, you might achieve in the next 20 years highest of highs, at your work. You might achieve like CEO positions or manager positions, change your job or start a new project. And these sorts of people will enter your life who will be a bit of a bossy type, but they will be with influence and power and also a lot of money, because Pluto is the planet of big money, like a lot of money. Now Pluto in the sixth house will also give you a lot to think and transform about yourself and how you approach and think about your health situation. Now your well-being, Pluto will in your sixth house will give you lessons of how to maintain your, as Virgo, you are quite obsessed with your health and well-being too, but still Pluto here will give you such a deep and subtle transformations that it will give you quite best, let's say better results around your health situation and daily activities. And also sixth house is also, house of solving problems, getting out from hardships, for example, and enemies that we know. And a sixth house is also house of debts. Now here, Pluto will give you that stamina to solve daily problems, how to solve them, and how to approach them, how to welcome them. And Pluto will give you that stamina and will teach you by giving you lessons how to overcome them, those obstacles that pop up time to time in our lives. Now, November 26th, of course, Mercury, your ruler, my dear Virgos, will go retrograde. Retrograde meaning moving backwards in your fourth house. Now, fourth house is all about family and real estate. Here, when Mercury retrograde, better not to buy a house. Very good thing to sell, for example, any type of real estate if that's your plan, but not to buy, because later on you might regret your decision. You might not like it, the house that you initially thought you liked, or you might find better option for cheaper price on the market, and you might actually regret about your purchase. So better during Mercury retrograde not to do anything related to real estate, especially for you guys, because it's happening in your fourth house. Now, fourth house is also family. It might give you a lot of work around your family history, or not necessarily history, but errands, like running errands of your family. Doesn't matter, maybe helping out your parents or helping out your siblings. Any family member might need help here, and Mercury retrograde will help you to accomplish all those things. And it's good to actually, find out information from your past and from the history of your family, especially. Now, this was your horoscope for November, my dear Virgo. Stay tuned for December and also for Pluto in your sixth house, because I will make a separate video. It's a huge topic. And don't forget to check your rising sign and moon sign, because usually our rising sign affects us the strongest. But for some people, it might be moon sign, depending on the time you're born. And, it's better to check all three and compare which one actually affecting you the most. Love you all. Bye bye.